What is going on, everybody? Today I want to go over some basics for Survivor. For the last 4 years I have been playing this game, and I've witnessed time and time again survivors who do not know what they're doing, or they're just making bad choices, which in the end usually ruins the game, giving a potential not so good killer a 4K when they didn't even earn it. Don't worry, I'll be doing a basic killer guide soon. I do play both sides pretty equally. As a survivor, you have 2 primary objectives and 1 secondary objective. The first primary objective is to complete 5 generators out of the 7 that spawn on the map. The biggest issue I have seen with doing generators is survivors spawn in and start repairing the first generator they see. Now that's not always a bad thing early on. As the match progresses, you're going to need to complete more of the middle generators. If you fail to complete the middle generators before the last one is required to escape, you're going to 3-gen yourself. Once you're in a 3-gen situation, it can at times be difficult to complete the final generator. At this point, the killer will be patrolling the last available generators very closely. My first goal at the start of any match is to find the most center generator to ensure it is completed first. Every map has a center generator that can be completed. Just get it done first and you'll thank me later. Now, after the center generator is done, always avoid the outskirt generators until the middle gens are done. As long as you do this, the final 3 generators available will be spread out enough so most good killers can't safely patrol them. Now, your second primary objective is to open the door and escape. The biggest issue I see with this is random solo players always open the door and bail out whenever they haven't even been hooked or haven't even been injured, just nothing. That is completely selfish in my opinion and always can get others killed. Always, and I mean always, fill the bar to at least 95 to 99%. Most good players will 99 the door. If you feel like you don't want to 99 it because you don't want to risk accidentally opening it, then just 96, 97%, good enough. Once the door opens, the in-game collapse begins, giving you 2 minutes to escape or die by the entity. If a survivor gets hooked or downed, the timer bar will turn gray and slow down. So don't be that guy or girl that bum rushes the door, opens it, and leaves. The only time that it is acceptable is if a killer is literally running at you and forces you to open it. It would be a bad day to camp a door and to discover a killer has no ed. If you're at an exit gate and it's open, you can wait for your team in case they need help. But if everyone is at the gate, just leave. There's no need to be toxic. This toxicity within the community needs to stop. It's just bullshit. It's cool you made it to the gate. No need to gloat. Just say GG and move on. This brings us to our secondary objective, totems. Everyone loves totems. Every map has 5 totems randomly placed throughout the map. The placement of the totems isn't hard to figure out. I don't have the distance to give you between the totems. I haven't worked all that out. But I can almost guarantee if you see a totem in an area, there will be another one within the next area or so. Jungle gems, killer shack, usually have good tucked away totems. Buildings, bushes with trees or rocks, you'll always find totems. Any spot that looks like it can have some tucked area away usually is a good spot for a totem, so go ahead and check it. If you see a totem, it's a stack of skulls. That's all it is, skulls and bones. It takes like 5 seconds to cleanse. When playing with friends, communicate with them. Tell them that you've taken out a totem. Other type of totems are Hex Totems. It's literally just the totem with a candle underneath at the bottom of it, and it glows and makes a burning sound. It's really easy to spot in here. If you do not cleanse all 5 totems by the end of the game and the killer just so happens to be running no ed, you're in for a treat. If there is 1 dull totem remaining when the final generator is completed, the killer will gain the perk no ed if they're running it. This allows the killer to move a little faster, as well as all survivors become exposed, making you a 1-shot instead of 2. Yes, totems are not the primary objective, but it's still part of the game. So if you see a Hex Totem or not, just cleanse it. It's blood points anyways. Keep in mind, if you haven't confirmed a Hex perk that a killer is using, but see a Hex Totem, best thing to do is just cleanse it either way. It could be Haunted Grounds, not gonna lie. And that's not fun to really deal with, but at least it's one less perk the killer can utilize later on in the game. The game offers a variety of Hex Totems that you can run. I'm not going to get into all of them, but at the end of the day, you can always cleanse them and essentially removing it from the game and the killer's use. Now we are on to running or hiding from the killer. A lot of players see or hear the killer coming in their general direction and proceed to either hide or run. If you can manage to hide and not get spotted, good on you. The killer will somewhat comb the area trying to find you if you are on the generator. Sometimes your hiding spots will be on point. Sometimes the killers won't pay attention so much. You can hide behind a variety of objects such as bushes, rocks, walls, cars, etc. Some cosmetics will make you camouflage to your surroundings, but you're not 100% invisible. If you choose to run and not hide, be ready for a decent chase most of the time. You have many choices you can make in this situation. The most important part of running the killer is to avoid a dead zone. A dead zone is an area that is almost nothing there. No jungle gyms, no pallets, almost literally nothing. Just a open dead area with just trees and rocks. It's a quick way to earn a trip to a hook. As for jungle gyms, you have a few different kinds you can run the killer on. First, we have the TNL walls. These are easily for killers to bloodlust on, but you can easily waste their time if used appropriately. It's just the walls that are shaped like a TNL. That's literally all they are. Next, you have pallet jungle gyms. This jungle gym usually consists of a straight wall with a window or an opening. You will have an L-shaped wall with a window, but never both. You will always have a straight wall with a pallet on either side and a locker. You're only going to have one pallet. This loop, if ran correctly, can waste the killer's time and allow your teammates to hopefully get some generators done. This particular jungle gym, if nearby a killer shack or even another loop, can be very bad for killers if you run it appropriately and know how to run a killer. Also, keep in mind that if you vault a window 3 times, the entity will block the window, forcing you to take another route. As you loop the killer on a jungle gym or pallet, never throw down a pallet panically. As you loop a killer on a jungle gym or a pallet, never just throw down a pallet. Never. So now we're at pallets. Each map has a number of pallets that can be utilized to extend a chase to keep the killer busy. Some pallets are really good, and some are just terrible. If you see an object that has like a car, long wall, log, with these pallets, they're typically great pallets to loop killers on. You will run into bad pallets that are alongside buildings, like on the wretched shop. You're going to see pallets on the outside that killers can just mind game you on. There's really not much you can do about it. It kind of sucks. Those pallets are pretty much filler pallets. Any pallet that's like alongside of a rock and a tree and you can't really run it much, it's just bullshit, it's just there. It's pretty much a filler pallet at that point. The loops in this game used to be insanely ridiculous, and I understand why they changed them. But now killers have unbreakable walls, a lot more shorter pallet loops, giving them an advantage in some areas. Not all, but some areas. If you have a good loop you're running the killer on, try to avoid wasting a pallet. Make sure you get at least 2 to 4 runs through a pallet before using it to stun them. Also, if you take a hit at a pallet, do not waste the pallet. Just run through it and then keep looping them. Do not drop a pallet on a hit. That is literally just a waste at that point. You're already getting your boost of speed, and you're losing at some because you chose to drop a pallet instead of run. While in a chase, you'll see the killer's red stain. If during the chase at any time you know they're close, like on the other side of the wall or something like that, you can't tell exactly what they're doing, you don't see the stain, they're more than likely going to be moonwalking, which is essentially doubling back. So what they're going to do is they're going to flip themselves 180 degrees away from you, hiding their red stain, and then just do a 180 degree turn and literally smack you through a pallet or smack you around the corner. It's literally just a mind game. That's all it is. Besides running the killer, you can also save teammates that are being picked up on a pallet. So pallets have many uses. Do not just waste them. If you see a teammate dropped in a pallet and the pallet's still standing up, if the killer goes for the pickup, wait for the killer to literally almost take that first step and then drop the pallet on them. You will save your teammate, stun the killer, good to go. If you do it too early, yeah, you'll still get the stun points, but it will not actually stun the killer. You cannot drop the pallet during the animation. It has got to be at the end of the animation, right when they're about to take that first step. But keep in mind, while trying to do a pallet save, some killers will approach a pallet and stop, trying to bait out another survivor. This game is full of mind games. Each situation is entirely different. Nobody plays the same as everyone else. There's no 2 same players. Now, helping teammates. Always be willing to help your teammates, even if they don't want to help you. Over time, doing so can literally lessen the toxicity within this community. It's not a guarantee, it's not going to erase the toxicity, but it can always help. Continuing to sandbag teammates is a good way to hurt the Dead by Daylight community. If you see someone on a hook, and they're not being camped, or even nobody's trying to save them, try to get them before second stage or before they die. If you have a generator that's almost done, sometimes you just got to get it done. It's your call, and it's entirely situational. After you unhook them, and the killer doesn't return, go ahead and heal them so they don't die so fast next time. If a teammate sees you helping and taking risks, who knows, maybe they'll risk it for you on the next time. Now, more of the hooks. A hook has 3 stages. First, you're at first stage where you're able to take an attempt to try and 4% unhooking yourself, which I wouldn't recommend unless you have enough time left on your bar. If you look at your bar, you have 60 seconds for the first stage of the first hook. Within half that bar, as your teammate's approaching, you still have enough time to try and attempt one time to get yourself off the hook. It's extra blood points, why not? But if you're running out of time and it's getting to the halfway point, like your timer's almost gone, don't attempt unless you're being left behind. Like literally just don't attempt. Because you're just going to put yourself in second stage unnecessarily. Now we're on to second stage. Second stage, you're in struggle mode. At this point, you're hitting a secondary action, which is usually spacebar, unless you change it to a mouse button or something like that for PC, or it's X, or it's A for console. The longer you hang on the hook of a camping killer, the more time you can have your teammates punish the killer by getting gen rush done. If you're playing with friends and being face camped, just tell your team to gen rush. That's absolutely the best way to handle a camper. The killer's just being an asshole to bait you out for another kill. Don't feed a bad killer more than they deserve. Now we're onto the hatch. As the game progresses, the hatch will appear. In order to make the hatch appear with all survivors alive, you need to have all 5 generators repaired. You can open the hatch with a key you either find in a chest or you bring it in from your inventory. If only 1 survivor remains, the hatch will open regardless if any generators are done. In order to get 2 more survivors out by the hatch, you need 3 generators done with 2 survivors, 4 generators done with 3 survivors, and so on and so forth. If the hatch is open, the killer can close the hatch if they arrive first. Closing the hatch will trigger the in-game collapse, and now you need to locate an exit gate. If you can't find the hatch as soon as it's available, just wait by an exit gate and begin opening it. If you know the killer is close, start the open animation, but stop it around 10 to 15%. So the first light doesn't come on. And just go ahead and hide. Hide somewhere good, wait for the killer to leave, jump back on the gate. He's gonna go check the other gate either way. So hop back on. At this point, you usually can dedicate and open the gate and escape. Hopefully this video helps you guys out if you guys are new. If you like the video, drop a like. You can share it and subscribe if you like my content. Go ahead and do that as well. I'd appreciate it. Share this video with everybody you know. If you know somebody's new to the game, you know they plan on getting the game. This game is always bringing out new content, and more players are always showing up. So it can only help. Because honestly, aren't we all tired of crap teammates? Well, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and always, good game.